देखो तो यार
Baba, by applying and drinking this will become white now.
Yeah.
Oh. Hi everyone, and today we are back live again because there's been a great time. So, of course, we are live. And here now, YouTube now live your channel. Okay. Okay, here's Digvijay Singh. Hello. Hello. Here's Over Getting. Hey, buddy. Hey. And Arpit Mohit. Hi. Hi. Satyam Parija. This is hello. Hello. Koduru. Seed. Sanjeev. Yeah. Creations. Hi. We are too. Hi. And this is Desi Mr. Robot. Hi. Hello. Hello. And Koduru. Sanjeevia Creations. Bro. Okay. Yeah. Technical Rakshit, hi. And hi, Pankaj Parihar, hi bro. Hi. And Pankaj Parihar again, how are you? I'm all good. And Naman Mutwani, your video are good, thanks. And Bharat Soni, what's your age? Actually, this time in August I will be 11. So presently I'm something about 10 years 8 months. So okay. Arshad Khan, Babu Khush Raho. Here is Arshad uncle. And Naman Kumar Verma. How we measure the distance, diameter of sun. Actually, the diameter of sun, it's not a great challenge after all. You can just do it using, there is parallax method. So that's the best method. You can measure the distance to various kinds of planets or whatever celestial bodies are there. Basic math, we need to learn physics. Basic math, we need to learn physics by Astro Boy, and I think.
No, not.
Okay, alright. So, जो basic maths अगर मैं बोल दूँ to learn physics, actual में what you really need is mostly calculus, and there's trigonometry and algebra. There's some coordinate geometry. So there are some certain such chapters which are really necessary after all. And after doing what you can do physics, there are maximum possibilities. So please eat properly and exercise properly along with the studies. Pooja Pandyan. Okay, I'll surely. Where are you from? Pokala Krishna. I am from Devariya district.
देवरिया डिस्ट्रिक्ट उत्तर प्रदेश में भी वो लोग नहीं जानते होंगे ना, दूर के होंगे, कभी भी एड्रेस पूरा बताते बता।
श्रीरंग सर आपको इतना छोटा एज में इतना कैसे आता है, हमें भी कुछ टिप बताओ। Actually में there's a lot I need to learn still, but I just continuously am doing how much I can do, what's my potential, I just try to do. Kamal Kasrani, love you from Pakistan. Thanks. By the way, what is your age, global cuber? I'll be 11 years in August. So presently it is 10 years, 8 months.
9 months. 10 year, 9 months.
9 months.
June, July, August. Yeah.
Okay. Ketan Oscar, hello, bro. Hello. And in which class are you studying? 7. Can you state superposition principle? Actually, superposition principle applies to all. That's true. But you may define, suppose I am trying to apply it to forces. So the principle of superposition for forces means that the same effect will come. Suppose I am applying a force of 2 Newton on a body, single force of 2 Newton. So whatever be the acceleration of the body, that will be same if I am applying many forces, and the net force is 2 Newton. Hello, Sarim, big fan. We sign something. Thanks. And hello, by the way. Raw. Hi, I am from Karnataka. I am 11th class. I am learning from you. Yeah. Like video and set theory, please, Naman Motwani. Okay, I'll surely find. And actually, even there's my sister who is great in maths. Okay, today she will make. And I want to be an IIT. Should I focus on concepts or questions? Jayant. Actually, some people will say do not focus on concepts very much and try to focus on questions. But I truly believe concepts is important. अगर आपको physics पढ़ना है, so you need to just do concepts mostly. Concepts अगर आपको आ गए, so you can surely get the numericals. So you should first of all focus more on concepts, on learning, on the principle behind every machine, and you can just do it. And then you can try even for numericals, suggest a line in quantum mechanics, global Huber. Well, quantum mechanics is really not easy to understand. It's just not a single line. But well, quantum mechanics is the study of very small particles, which is something like you must have been knowing about the conflict between quantum mechanics and relativistic mechanics in the 20th century. In which class are you studying, Sagar Ghosh? I'm in 7th, and who's your ideal in physics, AV Science and Tech? He's Professor Hawking. Actually, we can learn a lot from different persons. You can learn something like hard work makes everything possible, and even disabilities will be not able to do affect you anyway. So that's I learned this eventually from Stephen Hawking after all. And there is you can it's like there are different persons who will give you different ideas. Gaurav saying hi Albert Einstein, okay, and so that. Salim, how did you understand the concept through reading only book or you watch videos also on YouTube? Rudra saying, actually, I just continue reading books. Sometimes I watch the videos. Salim, how did you, okay. Though are Newton's laws of motion always valid for large object? Not always. They aren't valid always. Sometimes when we go to very large objects such as the sun and objects which are very close to sun like Mercury, so we know that Newton's law of gravitation is something like a part of Newton's law of motion. So it is something like a part. There, it cannot stand for the Mercury planet. It cannot predict exactly about the orbit of Mercury, while general relativity can. So we know even the difference is a lot small, but we have to change again our ideas about the motion of bodies, about physics. So it can't work in all the cases, but it is a special case, but a very special case. Yeah. The science and fun grow. Do you learn class 11 physics on your own? Anyone teach you global Huber? But I know it. Okay. I actually learn it myself, self-study. When you started learning physics, Naman Kumar Verma, actually that was basically in 4th class. I like your teaching style. And Sunil editor. I would also like to add that from 4th class I was very interested in physics, but mainly I got the interest during lockdown. Who's your editor? Neil the Inquisitor, actually known as editor. We do not edit. After. Chaitanya Vaidya, can you explain principle of relativity? Well, principle of relativity says if I try to go it to back to something like 17th century and 16th century, so the history is of Galileo Galilei, who stated that all laws of mechanics will hold as good as in one inertial frame of reference in comparison to the another inertial frame of reference. So if you have two, something like K and K dash, so in both the all laws of mechanics will be holding in the same exact way. And this was later elaborated not just to mechanics but to entire physics by Sir Albert Einstein. Rudran Singh, sir, I have doubt that when we fill the water in bottle, then the sound is starting. In the starting is different, and when the bottle is most of filled, then the sound is different. And how and why it is so? Actually, I don't have any exact idea. I really don't have the idea, but I'd also like to say, what time was it commented? 9:56. So 9. I will think over it, and if I think so, I'll try my best to make a video, or when we are live the next time, so I will reply. I'll start the live streaming by the same question. Okay, Rudwan Singh. Okay, all right. And in which state do you live in India? The Science and Fun Crew. I live in UP, Uttar Pradesh.
India.
Yeah, in India. Can you suggest some best reference books for class 12 physics? Abhishek Shyam. Well, class 12 physics is a broad syllabus, and if you want, so there are certain reference books. The best you can get for are like Concepts of Physics by Professor H.C. Verma, and there is D.C. Pandey entire. Actually, Concepts of Physics volume 2nd is for 12th class, and there is D.C. Pandey sir, Understanding Physics series. So which last two books are Electricity and Magnetism, the 4th book of the series, and Optics and Modern Physics, the 5th book of the series. They are good. If you want more, so you can go. There are some more like the publication, and there is Rasnik Holiday, the best I can say. Ra, can you introduce your father? Actually, my father, his name is Mr. Moshin Raza Khan, and he's an English teacher and from a very long time. Will you score area 1 in JEE Advanced? Actually, I don't have any. I don't actually think about JEE Advanced. I don't have any goal about JEE Advanced. What? Bro, if we are able to catch the light rays from objects reflected earlier, then can we see past? Yes, of course we can do. Ketan Bosker, we can, yeah, do it. Because something like I read an example, I'd like to also introduce. Suppose any star you have, which is 1000 and light years away from you. Okay, any star is at a distance 1000 light years away from you. It means after all that the light from the star will take about 1000 years to come from the star to us. That means that I can just say if the star explodes, then the light that is, of course, when it will explode, so what light rays will be trying to come? It will come as after 1000 years of explosion. So we'll be able to detect the light rays, and when we'll detect the light rays, so we'll be seeing the light rays that were, of course, in the past. So we can just know we'll be seeing the past. We'll be thinking that it has exploded now, but it haven't after all. It was exploded 1000 years ago. So we are seeing the past after all. What do you think about Big Bang Theory, the science and fun crew? Actually, Big Bang Theory was really a lot successful, but later some people believe it and some do not. Some support other theories, steady state theory, and some support theories like no boundary theorem, because Big Bang after all requires a singularity, but no boundary theorem doesn't require a beginning with a singularity. Nirman Khan, haha, Sarim, maybe I'm a little bit late. Oh, all welcome. Actually, Nirman Bhai, I really like your comments a lot. You come on YouTube, Physics Wala, Piyush Verma. Yeah, I have seen him. Do you believe that there is something beyond science? Neil the Inquisitor. Well, there's nothing in the universe presently that is beyond science. We know that whatever is in the universe, under the space-time, under the curved space-time, we know everything is under the arena of science, you may call, but what we know, something like some myths, mythologies, and if you talk about God, where does he live? We do not know. Science does not know, not at the time, and we don't have any hope to know with the science. So perhaps we'll know someday in future. We'll know the mind of God, but not now. Mr. Physics, what is thoughts about start learning physics from start to advance? Well, physics from starting to advance. You'll just know it that you'll have to study a lot. First of all, you just need to know that you need to study a lot and you need to work hard a lot. That's the best thing you can do. Okay, बुक्स वाला का हालत खराब हो गया है छोटे जीनियस आपके यूट्यूब पर आने से पीयूष वर्मा. Well, okay. Well, can you explain the law of entropy in thermodynamics, Ripper? Entropy can never decrease. This is the fact that entropy of a system can never decrease. It always either remains same or it always increases after transferring temperature from one body to the another body when we transfer the energy and the temperatures. Can you suggest some book to start learning physics? If you want to do it for competition, so there are other books, but if I would like to particularly say just for learning physics, so that's Rasnik Halliday. So actually the comments are going past very fast. Well, I'm confused. What explain Hawking radiation, Nirman Khan. I was just trying to from then stop all of it. So just I got explain Hawking radiation. Well, this is the best question I got till now. When Nirman Khan, actually I'm inspired by Professor Hawking a lot. Hawking radiation basically says that we know according to relativity and other theories that a black hole absorbs all the light coming in it, and all the matter and the energy information, whatever goes, it can never come out of the black hole. And if it comes, the black hole isn't black after all. So if to maintain black, the black hole doesn't give anything outside. But in 1974, as Stephen Hawking wrote, that no, this is wrong. If we try to use the quantum mechanics in something that was some part of relativistic mechanics, so we know that the black hole must radiate. Not just rotating black holes, but even non-rotating black holes should radiate. And the radiation then said to be Hawking radiation, and it radiates in the form of X-rays and gamma rays. Well, questions are Rudra saying, I want to know that, let's suppose I'll understand the first night is the same time and by it's not really smart work or hard work, which is necessary to crack boards? Neil the Inquisitor. Actually, there doesn't exist smart work or hard work. You need to work. What do you think it is greater? All questions are going. Explain. Wait. Well, explain Kirchhoff law in electricity, Piyush Verma. Kirchhoff law basically says that the radiation emitted from a black body doesn't depend on what material the black body is made or any such, the mass, or you may call density, whatever, doesn't depend on what the black body is made. But it actually depends just on the temperature of the black body, whatever radiation is coming out. So it depends just on the temperature of black body. All the best, brother. Mark Spidey, thanks. And if energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, if energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, it remains constant. Then from where the constant energy came? And Mr. Actually, the question is difficult, but you may say we know nothing before the beginning of universe, if Big Bang theory is true. Because time had an existence just after the beginning of the universe. So we cannot, after all, tell what happened before the beginning. It doesn't come under science. In which class do you read? PW Info 7. Which mathematics field did not understand? Yes. At what to understand? Neha said, which mathematics field you do not understand at but want to understand? Well, What I do, I just understand. There's no topic I had been doing that I didn't understand after all. But I want to completely do calculus, completely, entirely, at even very high level. Okay. Who's your inspiration except the great scientist and physicist? Shruti Chauhan. He's Bukadi Washington. He's really great. I want to know that. Wait. The questions are flying faster a lot. Well, from what shall I do? If we on torch while lights, if we own a torchlight while sitting on an airplane, that is at the speed of light, what will happen? Well, we first of all, what we need to know is the aeroplane cannot really reach the speed of light. This is against physics, I like to say. That if we really do, is still from any other reference frame from a person standing on ground, the speed will be still a speed of light in that case, 20 to 10 power 8 meters per second. Hmm? I want to know. I want to know. Rudra is saying, I want to know that. Let's suppose I will on the torch so that the torchlight hits the ceiling fan, and why fan is not moving even of the torchlight. It is made up of photon. We know, and that have both nature. Well, is Rusnik Holiday a good definite gamer's book? Of course it is. You can just say that after all, it can move because they are exerting light force over it. But the acceleration is just so small that we cannot notice it. What do you think about space-time singularity? Well, I don't have very much ideas over space-time singularities. That was by Neha Singh, and well, there are just such kinds of points in space-time where all the mathematics, all the scientific laws are broken down in such a way that the predictability of future is just impossible. We cannot tell about what is going to happen the next moment. You play PUBG, Rajivan Verma? No, not after all. Piyush Verma, I am also studying in my hometown, IIT Patna. Oh, that's great. Mm, go you play games, that's science and fun crew. Neha said, epitome, not mathematics. Well, I like mathematics. I really do. How you keep motivated? I just, whenever I am, well, uh, you can call when I'm demotivated, I read particularly Hawking's writings. So I'm motivated again. Nirman Khan, I'm not afraid of the one who practiced 10,000 kick once, but I'm afraid of the person who practiced one kick 10,000 times. Bruce Lee. Oh, that's great quotation. Uh, how you keep motivated? Kindly tell Sarim Dev Kumar. If sometimes I myself get demotivated. So in that kind of cases, I just try to read Stephen Hawking's writings, and when I do, I'm just motivated again, just normally. Well, Neha said, Nirmal Khan said, well said, yeah. That's right. What is zero acceleration, Prajival Kumar? When there's no force acting on the body and the body's speed does not change after all. Well, even not direction of velocity. Improvement. Who's your inspiration? Who is your inspiration? Dev Kumar. Well, my inspiration is Stephen Hawking. Uh, and what are your age, brother? Ganesh Kumar. Well, my age is going to be 11. 11 years in August. 14th August. Is there any discoveries left in classical physics area, Skyfrost? Not much. No, not at all. Because classical mechanics is just something like completed. This is a special cases when it doesn't work after all for very small scales or very large scales, very high scale. Epitome. What about Sir Isaac Newton? Of course, I just like him a lot. Here's Neha said, where would you go for higher studies? I haven't decided for going for higher studies, but yeah, I have an ambition that I want to become a professor of theoretical physics and mathematics in universities like MIT and Cambridge. So I particularly have one very special ambition to become the location professor of mathematics in Trinity College, Cambridge, a post once held by Dirac, Newton, and Hawking. Harshvardhan, is classical mechanics wrong and quantum mechanics correct? Well, if we want to completely say it wrong, so not. But when we go to very small scales, then we have quantum mechanics. But and normally we have predictions for actually classical mechanics. Exactly, they hold very good. So we can for normal speeds, normal size, normal length. So we can just use it. Nirman Khan, did you finish six easy? Nirman Khan, did you finish six easy pieces and six not so easy pieces? I just bought both of them recently. How are they? Well, I have read six easy pieces. That's really great by Richard Feynman. It has been derived from the Feynman lectures on physics completely. So that's really great. One of the greatest book I've ever read. Do you think we can complete theory of everything? Be logical. Well, theory of everything is really not a difficult task. If we look through scientific as yeah, really it is difficult task. Einstein spent the last 3 decades of his life in it, but he couldn't after all get it. Let hope we discover. Neha said, quantum mechanics, classical physics, relativity, these all fields work in their own domains, right? Quantum classical physics we just use for something like the kinematics and dynamics at normal level, quantum mechanics at very small, and relativity, special relativity to predict about the speed of light, predict about physics, and general, that is about gravity. फिजिक्स का वाला का लेक्चर देखे हैं गोधानी निसर्ग yes, I have seen his really good. Not to improve his, Prajival Kumar, as we know, light cannot bend. In white black hole, it get bent. Well, light can bend. After refraction through any kind of thing, light just bends. So you just see, and even when there's high gravity curvature of the space-time, light is bent a lot. Harshvardhan. So classical mechanics is correct for absolute normal size particles nature. Yes, then it is correct, you may say. Ganesh Kumar, how you have gained such a knowledge of book in about 11 years? But well, I just keep reading, and reading. Hi Sarim, Roshikesh Tanjila, hi. Yes, okay. Here's how. What is quantum mechanics, Subhasdi? Well, quantum mechanics is the study of very small particles, the very small elementary particles, the nuclear particles, you may call something like atoms and electrons, neutrons, protons. Nirman Khan, fact, no theories are correct. One theory is more correct than another. For example, quantum mechanics is more correct than classical mechanics. Yeah. Okay. Harshvardhan, what to do when we are not able to solve tough questions, even if knowing concepts feels demotivating? So does to me. But yeah, we should be continuing to try, and finally the problem is solved after all. Hi Sarim, how are you? Aditya Shukla, of course I'm great. Excellent, Mr. Sarim, AV Science and Tech. Thank you. How do you start your journey? Kindly give tips. Kindly reply, Sarim Dev Kumar. Well, I started my journey during the 10th particularly in physics, and I was just doing it. First of all, I was doing a textbook called Concepts of Physics, and then I came into physics. Neha said, as recently trying to understand geodesics. Can you tell us something about it? Well, geodesics, if we particularly go into general theory of relativity, so can call it the shortest path between 2 points. We can also say that actually the shortest path, if we compare it to our globe, our Earth, so the shortest path between 2 points on Earth is just not a straight line, that is also a curve. Did you solve Virodo, Aditya Shukla? Yeah, I've tried some questions. That's also great, but not as difficult as we just compare it. Who's your mentor? Well, no one's particularly. I'm not trained after all by some teacher, but yeah, if I have some problems, so I can consult some teachers. What is length contraction? Big classes. Length contraction is when any object moves something about close to the speed of light, it gets shortened in length. Described by relativistic theory. So this is. Bro, you said theory of everything is easy, but how will we tell the position and momentum at the same time? Be logical. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. So, there is really an ultimate theory of the universe. Kindly tell something about calculus. Is hard, Dev Kumar? Well, calculus is also not hard. You may call nothing is hard, but they're harder than other things. Will Neha say it? Yeah, geodesics help in a lot of field in physics like optics, general relativity, etc. Yes. And well, calculus, as you said, calculus is the basic branch of mathematics developed by Sir Isaac Newton to solve the problem of gravitational, well, to answer his question about the falling apple and the falling moon. So this really describes the rate of change of some quantity. I started studying A Brief History of Time, Stephen Hawking, only because of you, Subhasdi. Oh, that's great. Well, that's really great. But well, Ashok how mass get varied by increase in speed and a relation. Yeah, there's some mathematical relation governed by the special theory of relativity. Satyam Harshgupta, good luck for a great career. Yeah, thanks. न्यूमेरिकल्स ऑन कैसे सॉल्व कैसे करें दिलहोश कुमार वेल न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व करने के लिए what you need is practice जैसे आप मैथ्स में करते हैं and good concepts, good mathematics, and it can be done. Nirman Khan, you should attend physics olympiad and then international physics olympiad. Okay, then I'll show you. Thanks for the tip. YouTube shorts chemistry पढ़ते हो? Not now. Okay. Well, I think there's been enough time. There's been just 33 minutes and 45 seconds after all. Yeah, this is, wait, Ashok sees similarity, m equals m naught by 1 minus v square by c square. And so now we are just over it.
Next Saturday.
And now next Saturday we'll really try to do it.
9:30 p.m.
9:30 p.m. Okay, all right. So hope you all enjoyed today and thanks for watching and bye.